Welcome to your practice. This is going to be a very short, hopefully sweet, release for the wrists and forearms. So, two maybe opposing lifestyles. Those of us that drive desks professionally, recreationally, we're at a computer for many hours. We're doing habitual things with our hands, moving the mouse or the trackpad or typing, or you're always holding the phone with the same hand. Not only do we get into this rounded posture, but our wrists, which then transfer up to the shoulders and the neck, take quite a beating. On the other side of that, if you are a cyclist, which I love to do, then you might find the more hours you log, the longer you're out on the road, the harder the rides get, everything starts to lean into those handlebars. And what takes the weight? The wrists, the forearms, the shoulders, and then not to mention what's happening in the neck. We're really going to zoom in today for those of us that drive desks, those of us that ride bikes, or pretty much just a human, into the wrists and the forearms. And often we think about just stretching these areas, but it's so important that we also strengthen them. So we have good grip strength, good support in the joints of the wrist and the forearms. So we're going to do a few things that are maybe a little more subtle, a little more nuanced, and my hope is that you're going to take them with you and use these snacks throughout the day. So we'll start in tabletop. We'll start on hands and knees. And do whatever you need to. Pad up the knees, make sure you're comfortable. Set the hands under the shoulders. And go ahead and give a healthy spread between the fingers. Not the most exaggerated spread, but you can see the bones. So trying to line the fingers up with the bones as they come out of the hands. And then the first thing we're going to do, we're just going to grip the mat with the pads of our fingers. So you're keeping that whole circumference, the base of the fingers down to the heel of the hand, in contact with the floor. You're not buckling, but you're gripping the mat. Almost like they're little suction cups, like octopus tentacles, suction cups. Gripping, gripping, gripping. And then relax. And if you need to come off your hands when you relax, do what you need to. Otherwise, we're going to do that 2 more times. You're just going to grip the mat with your fingers. Not gripping your jaw, though. Speaking for myself. Keeping the whole circumference, that big wheel, the palm of the hand in contact with the floor. And then relax. And then one more time. Gripping, gripping, gripping. Are the hands gripping equally? I just keep looking back and forth at my hands because they're sneaky. They do some things that I'm not really aware of. Good. And then relax. And either sit back with the toes curled under, or you can sit back onto the tops of the feet, or if you need to support yourself, and interlace the fingers in just some easy figure eights. All right, next thing we're going to do is look at our active range of motion. So if you take yoga classes, we put a lot of weight on the hands and the wrists in a passive way. But we're going to look at our active ability to flex at the wrist. So you're going to come back to tabletop. We're going to try to keep the hips where they are. So we're not going to shift back. That's the passive part. So we're going to keep ourselves stacked over the wrist. And you're going to try to pull the fingers up like you're pulling the fingers towards the top of the forearm. And can you do that without buckling the elbows, without sending the hips back? So you're trying to lift and spread those fingers. And already I have a bit of quivering. Lifting, spreading, lifting, spreading, lifting, spreading. And then put the hands down. And you guessed it, we're going to do it 2 more times. So lifting those fingers, pulling them back. Feeling the forearms fire up. And then put them down. And one more time, lifting, keeping that spread of the fingers. Are all the fingers lifting equally? No. No. And then put the hands back down. And again, sit back on the heels. And like you're screwing in light bulbs, just give a shake for the wrists. It's a really fast way to screw light bulbs in and out. All right, we're gonna do one more active strengthener now for that inner forearm, inner wrist. And these are called wrist push-ups. They're very subtle. You're gonna come back to tabletop. You're gonna keep that contact of the center of the palm, that little grip of the fingers. We're gonna put that together. And now it's like you're trying to pick up just the very base of the hand, the heel of the hand, without buckling at the fingers, without bending the elbow, as if you wanted to just lengthen those arms and draw straight up. So you're putting a little more weight down into the fingers and trying to pull the heel of the hand up. And if you're watching me closely, it probably doesn't look like much, but once you get the hang of it, it feels like much. Feels like a lot. And going for 10 or 20 of these, and you're not buckling at those joints, you are gripping the mat lightly with the fingertips, keeping the elbows straight, and trying to pull up. And it's amazing how exhausting this is. Get maybe 1 or 2 more. My toes are working too. Good. Okay, sit back on the heels. Last thing, little brain teaser. So one hand is gonna screw your light bulb, and the other hand is gonna blink the fingers. You're gonna try. Try is the operative word. And then see if you can switch. So the other hand screws your light bulb, and the other hand blinks. It's not fair that I can't see you. All right, shake them both out. Feel free to repeat anytime you need. This is a good thing to start weaving into your daily routine. You can do the whole combination or just pick and choose one at a time. Let me know what you think. And until I see you again, be well.